When you're negotiating with anyone, it's possible that all parties win. Whether that's with a record label, with a producer, with a booking agent, with whoever you're working with, you can come to terms so that everybody wins. I was reading something recently where it talks about like when you negotiate, both people should win at the end of the day because whoever you're working with, you want them to win so that they'll work with you again. I was just even talking with a producer who were thinking of doing some songs, and we were talking about the different options and stuff, and we're talking about just being fair and being transparent, and him just telling me what his expenses are and me sharing, well, what's my risk and the long-term reward, and if I decide to buy out certain things with like points, or pay a full fee so there's no points in the deal. And it was just a real win-win scenario. I think of record labels where they want to do a 360 deal or something like that. And if you're not familiar with the 360 deal or the term with that, that's when you sign a deal with a label. And of course, they make money off the master, but then maybe they got a piece of your publishing. They've got a piece of your merch. They've got a piece of maybe your live shows. And maybe they get a piece of your TV film, right? So they're taking basically income streams from all the different ways that you make money. They take a piece of that. Well, that's totally okay. If I'm working with Bob from the label and Bob says, well, Chris, during this 360 deal, it's actually more beneficial for you because we're going to help you sell more merch. So instead of making $1,000 a month, you're going to make $5,000 a month, and we're only going to take 15% of that, but you'll actually make more money. But because we have a team of designers and they're going to help you, revamp your store and some different launch strategies for throughout the year so you're selling more merch, this is going to be beneficial. So that's why we want to take 15% of your merch as well too. And also, Chris, we have an in-house booking agent, or we have relationships with different festivals or different artists to get you on tour, and we guarantee you at least 3 tours that will help you generate this amount of money every year. And so that's why, we want 15% is because we're going to create more opportunities for you. And also, Chris, the reason we want to take 15% of your TV and film is because we have relationships with this company that puts out this many movies and commercials and, all these different, connections, and explaining why they're going to do this and put it in writing that, look, like it shouldn't be gray. It shouldn't be weird. There shouldn't be things hiding. It's like, if you promise to do this, I'm going to do this. And if it doesn't add up to that, well, then there's a problem, right? Like if someone's not doing their job and then they're just taking whatever, then that's not cool. Both parties should win. I was reading something here. The goal is to enrich oneself while enriching others. The goal of negotiation is not to win at someone else's expense. I'm going to say that again. The goal of negotiation is not to win at someone else's expense, right? Because who wants to do a deal with someone like that again? Who wants to work with someone like that where you ripped me off, man? You ripped me off. You gave me a bad deal. It's not, it's not fair. And sometimes there's people, especially in the music industry, that complain or aren't, putting in the work and aren't, what's the word? Coming up with their side of the deal. They're not like owning up and really putting the work. And so you can't expect things to work out if you're not, coming to the plate with your side of the deal, right? And so it's really interesting, though. It really made me think because sometimes in label deals, and I've never signed a 360 deal. I personally haven't seen one that's that fair and generous, but that's really how it should go down. It should be like, well, the reason we're taking this is because we're going to provide these other opportunities, and it's going to be every year. It's for the term of the deal, so that you win, Chris, and we win, and we all make a bunch of money together. We all impact a whole bunch of people's lives, and we bring these songs to market and just change the world, right? That's how it should really be. And it's when you have a conversation like that, and I hope the way I explain that just comes off so natural that there's nothing like, I'm not trying to bully anybody. You're trying to say, okay, if you want something, what can you give? What can you give if you want to tap into something like that? Because both parties need to win. If someone's going to spend their time and their energy, well, they deserve to get a reward from that. If they're going to help market and promote that item or that band, if there's risk, if they're putting up the money, right? If they're putting up all the money and all the investment and all you're giving of your time and your talent, which is obviously equally important, but sometimes an idea needs that money and needs that fund, but that doesn't mean that the artist should definitely get ripped off. It should be a win-win. And I don't know why there's not more deals like this and more transparency so that artists can say, hey, I just did a deal with this label, man. They treated me really well. It was really fair. It was really honest. And sometimes just with music, because it is so subjective, sometimes things, you put them out, they launch and they blow up. Sometimes you put out things and they don't. I know some artists who their first song was an absolute massive hit, absolutely huge, global hit, is really big, but then they haven't been able to replicate that yet. And it's not because they didn't, go in the studio and try and write the best songs they possibly could. It's just because sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time, and sometimes some things are just a one-hit wonder. And even though they've released like 2 more records since then, they still haven't had that massive hit on the same scale. Doesn't mean they won't again. And that's why you don't give up. That's why maybe one partnership or one deal might not have worked out so good in the past doesn't mean a future one can't. I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits. Hey, it's Chris, and it looks like you forgot to get your copy of From Red to Black, sharing how I paid tens of thousands of dollars off in debt and how me and my wife clawed our way out of debt and built successful businesses. I know this book can help you out. Click the link in this video and claim your free copy. Just cover the shipping and handling, and we'll send this right out to you. It's hardcover, full color, and the strategies and tips in here will change your life. Get your copy today.